you are my beautiful, loving, kind, see how I'm setting you up here, guinea pigs for my Google slide creations, but I promise it's interactive and I'm more want to see what you have to say than what I have to say. So this was a presentation that I put together after some prayer and meditation, and I'm going to see if I can put it up here. And let's see what happens. Look at that.
Whoa.
All right. Can you see?
Oh,
Yes.
All right. So we're going to, mother is a particular term, and generally we refer to someone who has given birth to another human being. But in reality, we know that the energy of a mother is inside of all of us. And I wrote the mother archetype. An archetype is a collective consciousness. So to say, a known energy with characteristics that generally fit certain images and meanings. So when you look at these pictures, what are some of the words, single words, that when we're looking at the archetype of mother, what are some of those specific words that we might attribute to a mother? And let's just admit, we're all wounded, right? We may carry some wounds from our mothers. We may have inadvertently wounded people we love or projects we have given birth to, whatever that might be. So we're focused on generally the collective mothering that we want, those words. So what are some words to describe the sovereign, beloved sovereign mother archetype within and around us?
Unconditional love.
Nurturing.
Hang on. What did you say, Kevin?
Nurturing.
Nurturing.
Unconditional love.
Got that. Unconditional love. What else? What else does that?
Protection.
Say it again.
Protection.
Protection.
Patience.
We hope.
Well,
Any other, before all of that nurturing, before all of that protection and patience, what is an archetype, an archetypal action that is associated with mother energy?
comfort.
Comfort is part of that archetype, even before comfort.
Oh,
What
like
happens?
the life cycle, it's reproduction.
And what's another word for reproduction?
Regeneration.
Regeneration, birth, right?
yeah.
If we were to say the first stage of mothering is birthing, right? We give birth to something. We say, we create it, right? We say, hey, we bring it into being. So I would say so this is, listen, you take what you like and leave the rest. But from my experience, strength and hope and wisdom, the first thing in that mothering archetype is we give birth to something. And the second stage, many of you have said words regarding that second stage. What might that be? We've got the birth, and now we have the protection, nurture.
Well, all those words we listed could almost be applied to as far back as the womb.
Possibly.
Because that all takes place within the womb at the instant of recognition of motherhood.
Yep. That very possible. For our purposes, for our big view of this archetypal purposes, we're going to say probably the first, the first energy is the birth, the seed. We got this seed. And then we move into nurturing. we move into protection.
Mhm.
Unconditional love. What was that? Someone say something. You're probably going, nope, but I can't see you. So unconditional love, support. I heard the word comfort. So all of that we might consider, if you'll just play with me here, the second stage, nurturing. What might be the third stage of mothering?
Letting go.
Touchdown!
Yeah. Letting go. That's good. Good, Kevin.
Letting go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to let go. You have to know when to let go.
So we get these seeds that are birthed. Then we get this time to nurture, support, comfort, protect, and then we let go. So could someone read this out loud, please?
Consider the context of your life. Spend a couple minutes writing down a creation of yours, someone or something you have given birth to, created, and brought into being. Ooh.
That was cute. I heard someone say, ooh.
That
Okay,
was me.
let's go back. So that's what I'd like you to do if you would. Just a few minutes. It's a way of honoring what we have given birth to. It's a way of honoring what we have brought into the world, what we have created, right? It's what we have created in the world. So think about something. And as an example, I'm going to say this book, Blessings from Mary. The seeds came from my desire to be of service in my journaling practice. So that's a project that I brought into being, right? So think about something you have birthed, something you very intentionally created and brought to the world. And I'm going to just ask us to just be silent for a moment while you can think about it, or you are welcome to write about it. But we'll come back in about 2 or 3 minutes. Just write about that birthing experience, whatever that might be. And it could be an actual person too. And if you're open to sharing, we'll come back on the screen. Be aware if you're shuffling around that it could create some noise. And that's okay too. So something you have birthed, and what was birthing like? So I'm just going to share for a moment or two and then listen to your birthing stories. We'll say that I have done a birth of another human being. I'll just tell you, she has a 16-inch circumference of her head. When I get mad at her, I remind her of that. That was not easy, as in birthing a book. I didn't intend to birth this book, but I received some seeds. And as I played with those seeds one day, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this book? And I, heard or believed or came through me, however we acknowledge a divine guidance, it was, well, it's to be published. What? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to do that. That's too vulnerable. And then I heard, well, do you want to be liked or do you want to be of service? Right. So I share that because I think anything we birth or have birth requires tension, right? There is tension in birth. Tension is part of birth. So I'd like to hear what someone else has birthed and what that birthing process was like for you.
When I gave birth to my son, well, first of all, when I conceived my son, Kip, I was extremely happy, very happy, a little bit scared. And then it set in that it was an unbelievable honor to be allowed to be a mother. And it was life-changing. And then when he was born, the enormity of the responsibility of caring and nurturing him and preparing him for life on this planet was staggering, and was pretty much all encompassing for me. And of course, then there are the years of preparing. He's 41 years old now, has a family of his own. And as I watched him grow, loving every single moment of it, whether it was good times or bad times for him, I learned a lot about myself in the process and was able to plumb into the depths of my being to bring forth what was necessary to help him through his trials and tribulations that he had, and to be able to guide him through the bad times and to rejoice with him in the good times. And then there comes a point where you got to let him go. And he found a girl whom I adore. I got very lucky in my daughter-in-law, and he got married, and I was honored to be able to perform the ceremony, the wedding ceremony. And that was a highlight of my life. And then I had to let him go because he now has his own family, and he's now a father. He's got my darling little granddaughter, Livy. And I'm finding it difficult to let go, but I have let go, and it's, you have to find a balance between wanting to stay relevant in their lives and yet not get in the way. And that's been a learning experience too. So there's all sorts of lessons I'm learning along this path of motherhood. And I know I've transferred a lot of my energies into my artwork just to keep from going crazy. So that's pretty much, I'm sorry?
I said, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what my motherhood journey has been so far.
With your son. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So who has also had a birthing experience? Kevin?
Well, I have. I didn't have children. But one thing I did give birth to is a conference for PML survivors. And we were, worldwide, we might be 200 or 300 people. And nobody knew another survivor, and we all met online. And then I said one day, well, why don't we meet? So then they went, that's a great idea, but PML, you don't travel well. You do not travel well with PML. And so I ended up having a conference, and I had folks come in from England, India, all over the States, all over Canada. And that conference is still going on 23 years later. So, I'm proud of that kind of
That's
thing.
awesome.
Blessings.
My son is on the phone. I'm going to take this.
You'll come back to us? Thank you, Kevin. So your birth, what you birthed, made a difference.
Yeah.
As what Sally birthed made a difference. Anybody else want to share something that they have birthed, and what was that like? The struggle, the challenge, the joy of letting go. So that's Yvonne or B if you'd like to share. Otherwise, I'll move on. There'll be another opportunity to participate. So I'm accepting your silence as you'd like to pass. All right. Okay, let's see if we can go on here. What's going to happen? So can you see this okay, or are things in the way?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have spent some time thinking about the context of our life. What have we birthed? Could you read this one?
Consider
I'll
the
read it if you like.
Please.
Consider the context of your life. Now consider something you have fostered and nurtured in your life. It may be the same as what you have birthed, or someone else, or someone, something else. This is an entity you have spent your time and energy offering consistent blessings and support.
Does anyone, especially someone who hasn't shared, Yvonne or B, I don't know if, let's see if Nikki is back. She's not quite yet. Do you have something that you have nurtured, consistently given blessing to, consistently offered support to in your life? The second stage of the mothering archetype, blessing, support, comfort. Kevin and Sally, would you like to share something you have supported and comforted other than the initial sharing of what you birthed?
I think probably the years that I worked at URI in the costume shop, I spent 35 years nurturing and supporting and comforting the students that came through the costume shop and worked with me and learned from my classes. There's more to just teaching them how to build a costume. You know, there's a lot more to it. You know, I created a safe space for them where they could air their grievances about things and talk to one another about their fears for the future and concerns and so forth. And I think it did a lot of good. So
Thank you. Thank you. And that was that you named something that is also, I think, a characteristic of the mothering archetype. What was the one thing Sally said that we didn't say? Protection, patience, comfort, nurturing, unconditional love. There was a specific behavior that she mentioned.
safe space, maintaining safe space.
And what is a way that we can help to create a space in which people share with us their vulnerability? What's a characteristic of a safe space? Saying it's a safe space is one thing. I just wrote an article. It takes skill to create safety. What's one of the skills we bring?
Respect.
Yeah.
And what is a way that we show respect?
No judgment. Listening.
You know, I say to my children, when they call me to share something, I always say to them, would you like my feedback or would you like me just to listen? We need places where we can just say, right, that we've been heard. So listening is important. B or Yvonne, would you like to share anything that you have nurtured, that you have given a lot of attention to? Kevin, did you share, Kevin?
Not on the nurturing, no.
Okay.
I would say three things I've helped nurture. One would be the gay rights movement. I've been an active member of that since '83. And another one has been the HIV movement, and offering support and fellowship to, other people affected by HIV. And then one of the things that I'm kind of extra proud of, I took over a toy drive one Christmas and took the event from 2 events to 12 events. And the previous year they had raised $200, and I was able to raise $1,200, and we were able to provide gifts to over 1,000 children in the city. And we were able to touch so many lives with that. We started a nursery and a church. We bought them cribs to put the babies during the service. We furnished daycare units, and it was wonderful.
Lots of nurturing, lot of fostering, lot of blessing. You even did some multiplication. You had like not twins, but you you reproduced beautifully.
Oh, yeah. Well, it went from 2 events to 12 events.
Right.
You know, we had the policeman's choir show up, and at that point, it was considered harassment if macho police had to sing at a gay event. And so they had the right to refuse to defend their masculinity. Like, we're raising toys for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
you
we got through it all, and pleased to say that toy drive has not shrunk since then. It has continued to grow.
multiply, making lots of little baby seeds everywhere. Thank you both for your service. I didn't nurture my book as much as I wished I had. You know, sometimes when we birth things, we fall short on the letting go or the nurturing, but I do. It's about sacred feminine spirituality. And I'm just going to say, I really nurture that inside of me in my life. I give time and attention to my spiritual practice. So that's what I'm going to say I really nurture today. There are some things in the chat. Yvonne, can I read yours, or would you like to read it, or do you want us just to read me? Okay. So Yvonne,
I'm starting to get a sinus headache, so that's why I'm not speaking.
okay, you take care of yourself. And if
Yeah,
there's
I'm
anything
gonna
you put
rest
in,
with that.
thank you. If there's anything you put in the chat, I'm going to read it unless you put a note. Okay, great. I see that thumb. So Yvonne says, I find most things people I involve myself in that I am a large nurturer or supporter. I invest my heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens when we go to to the next screen. Let's see. So let's see here. All right. So thank you for sharing. You know, when we think about it, when we in shadow work, the sovereign energy, that archetype where the mother or the teacher or the organizer blesses and supports others, right, is called the sovereign. So we're talking about the benevolent sovereign. And it's really important for us to let that benevolence fall upon ourselves in our own nurturing, right? In our own care, sometimes in our own protection. Okay, so would someone please, can someone please read this? We talked about 3 stages in this archetypal mothering. We give birth or bring into creation. We then nurture it, bless it, protect it, listen to it, love it. And what is this 3rd stage again that you got so quickly? Would someone read this, please?
Consider the context of your life. Now consider something you have created and birthed, nurtured and supported over time, and that you have blessed and let go within the world.
So we're talking now about this 3rd stage, which is the stage of letting go. I find, you know, the birth tension of birth is challenging, but then and the nurturing and support, some of that, you know, we always have, I have challenges. I'll speak for myself in that journey, of course, but letting go is hard too, right? So just think of something perhaps in your life that you and the things that that have been described here feel like you've had a beautiful letting go, right? Not only have you birthed these incredible humans and birthed an environment in which you are able to plant seeds and nurture them and send them out into the world and let them go. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And from what you have shared with me here and us, sounds like you've done a beautiful job of that. So now, even though we're in, you know, I'm in prayer and meditation all the time about my kids. Do I call? Do I not? You know, blah, blah, blah. So I know today I hold space for them and they come to me, generally speaking. I let them know I'm there for them. Where have you possibly given birth, whatever that looks like for you? Where have you possibly then nurtured something and supported it and blessed it from that archetypal sovereign, feminine, sovereign, even masculine is can have sovereign masculine can be mothering, but you've had difficulty letting go. So where are you still trying to perfect it, or you're just holding on tight? You know, John Bradshaw was a leader in the family systems and addictive behavior of relationship dynamic here in Houston. And he used to say, you know, we're not in relationships where he was much funnier. You know, we see someone and we got claw marks on them kind of thing. So we have a difficult time sometimes loving and letting go at the same time. So, I have let this book go. And I wished I'd spent a little more time nurturing it. So I'm actually letting go of my need to do it perfectly. Books aren't perfect. Mothering isn't perfect. Fathering isn't perfect. Projects aren't perfect. Art isn't perfect. So I just, you know, really want to practice letting go of that perfectionism and just being what is. So who has something that perhaps they've nurtured and loved? I could also say with my husband, we've had 20 years together and there is now a separation and it's challenging to let go. I've put a lot of time and energy into that marriage. And so for me, when I let go, it's always with how can I be of the greatest service to myself and the other here. So I have to lean into compassion and service. That helps me to let go. But sometimes I'm, you know, there are claw marks, you know. So what has been challenging perhaps for anyone to let go of?
I would say on my part, resentment. You know, I'm like a dog with a bone, you know, when it comes to resentment. And I have to work extra hard to counteract that. And that's where you draw on your love and compassion and all sorts of other nurturing attitudes. You know, because I remember once I was up for a position on the board, and I thought my opponent really pulled a nasty card, and so she ended up winning. I was resentful of that for the longest time, but then I finally healed enough that I could let go of it, and I'm no longer resentful about that.
Thank you. Yeah, and you know, if I may, in 12-step spirituality, the resentments are the thing. That's where we start when we work with someone around whatever program we're in, we go to what are our resentments? Because we resent, resend, right? It goes round and around and around. And we often say, you know, it's like taking poison, like wanting the other person to hurt and taking poison, whatever it is. What I really appreciate about what you shared, if I may, Kevin, is that you were, you know, it was a journey. Your honesty about, you know, I got that it was hurting me, and after a period of time, I was able to let go, right? So we have to, I think, my opinion is that we have to really hold that space for ourselves too. You know, we have to listen. Yeah, I'm hurt. I'm angry. Something happened, and hold it gently instead of jumping to do something. Just be with it so we can nurture and take whatever time we need to get to the place where we let go authentically, right? Where we're ready. That's a spiritual journey, in my opinion. Anybody else have challenges letting go that they'd be willing to share? And I'm just going to say that Yvonne wrote in the chat, I have experienced many facets or stages of life that with growth, those also require letting go. Some are more difficult. And very honestly, she said, sometimes just my limited beliefs. I like things my way. So yeah, sometimes I have to let go of that too. Thank you for your honesty. Sally, did you want to say anything?
I think the most difficult letting go I had was letting go of the anger that I had toward my mother. But what helped me let go of that anger was realization that she did the best she could with what she had to work with, in and of herself. And I came to the conclusion that there really wasn't anything to be angry about or resentful about, you know. And because of the way she was, I am the way I am. And in a very convoluted way, it gave me the opportunity to really delve into myself and become who I am today. If I hadn't had those challenges that she presented to me, I would not have had the journey that I've had and be where I am today. So it's letting go of the anger was a big thing. And that happened years ago. You know, it's been years ago that I let go of that anger. And now that my mother's on the other side, she gets it. So, and I can think fondly of her now.
Thank
So-
you. Thank you. It's a journey. And for me, I had a lot of anger with my mother too, and I gave myself permission to have it, and I kept showing up. And then all of a sudden, that thing I knew in my head, well, she did the best she could. Like I could say it with full compassion, knowing that, okay, still kind of pissed about this, but I know that my mother would have given her life for me. So giving ourselves permission before we let go, so it comes from a place of authenticity, I think is really important. I don't
Yeah.
tell people forgive. I tell people, you know, I have a cousin, she's still angry at her mother, and she says, I've forgiven my father because I hung out with all those vets. I said, so you haven't forgiven your mother? She said, not yet. And I said, well, I think that's all there is. We've either forgiven them or we're on the way. You know, not yet, she said. I said, well, you're on the right path.
It's a
Anybody else?
healing journey.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's painful. We walk through pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game of healing. We have to be honest about our pain.
We walk through the valley of the shadow.
That's right. Okay, I've got one more screen. And thank you for both sharing honestly and in the chat too. Thank you for being here. And now I'm sure you don't see what you're supposed to see. So how do I get back to it? Come on, sister.
Oh. Yeah, I see Zoom.
I know.
Try minimizing that Zoom screen.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks like it might be behind it. Oh, I was wrong.
Actually was minimized, if you can believe that. So
Ah.
There we go. Well, there's,
No.
okay, you're getting,
we're getting there.
Yeah,
We're
closer.
on the journey. Okay, so how do I make this bigger? So I think I'm gonna just stop the share. There, look at Charlie's here. Hi, Charlie. And hopefully Bobby is here. We're talking about the archetype of mothering, and we're moving on from the 3 stages of, what was the first stage?
birth,
Birthing, creating, bringing it into the world. What's the second stage?
Nurturing.
mhm,
Protection, nurturing, unconditional love, unconditional support. What's the third stage?
letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go. All right, so let's see. All right, now for the last part, we are going to consider the context of your life. Who would like to read this, please?
Consider the context of your life. What is there to birth or create, nurture, foster, bless, and let go?
So hopefully now we understand that the archetype of the sovereign mother, the sovereign, the benevolent sovereign mother, can be applied to many, many areas of our lives. You know, we could even say we birth every new day we birth. Right, a new day. How do we want to create that? How do we want to nurture that? So now is time in the kind of, hi, Charlie. Charlie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Glad you're here. So in the archetype of mother, which is a ability to plant seeds, to give birth, to create, to nurture something, protect something, and bless something, and then to let it go and put it out in the world, we could say that we're all creating, nurturing, and letting go all the time. So I just wanted to give us an opportunity to just bless each other with something that perhaps we've begun to birth into the world, something we've been nurturing for a while, something we want to birth, something we know will need some nurturing, letting go, whatever that happens to be. Well, I'm just going to have everybody mute for a second and just think about that. I'll tell you, for me, I've had the inspiration that Blessings from Mary has a volume 2, and that's what I'm wanting to give birth to in the world. And I know it's going to take time to nurture and then let go, but that's an example of something for me. So let's just take a couple minutes and think about that. And it could be related to anything, your health, your relationships, a project, a room in your house you'd like to straighten up. And we'll be back in a couple minutes. And just come back when you're ready. This can be big, it can be small, it can be whatever you want. And so I do have a desire. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do now, and you may participate to whatever extent you'd like to participate. So it's a big deal that I'm feeling called to do a second volume, a second book of daily meditations. And there are, it's going to take something. So I have 3 things that I would love for you to say to me. And one of them, and you can just repeat it. We're going to just take a little bit of time. All your attention is going to be focused on me for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and you're going to take just randomly. You're going to say things. You got this. Trust yourself. We got you. There's 3 statements. You got this. Trust yourself. We got you. So I'm going to do what we do in shadow work when we receive a blessing like this. This is a support piece. We're practicing in shadow work from our sovereign selves. We're blessing each other. So I'm going to mute myself. I want you all to unmute. And I'm going to set the time here, and I want you just to shower me with, you got this. Trust yourself. We got you. And I'm going to breathe it in. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to repeat.
You got it. Trust yourself. And you got it all. You got it all, baby.
We got I love it. All right. Bring it on.
Okay.
You got this. Trust yourself. We got you.
You got this. Trust yourself. We got you.
You've got this. Trust in yourself. And we're with you. We've got you.
Thank you. I thank you, B. Thank you. All right, who's next? Who has something? Thank you, B. Trust myself. Yeah, I got that. I received that. Thank you. So who's got something they want to birth, and what blessing are we able to offer you?
I am birthing a new sources of income and a new life. And years ago, my child put this little piece of paper on the top of this computer screen, and it says, "You can do it, just believe." So that's what I would like to hear. You can do it, just believe.
Okay, so in our shadowy way, I'm going to ask you to mute, Yvonne, and whatever posture for receiving, take a deep breath. You can do it, just believe. Breathe it in.
You can do it. Just believe in yourself.
You can do it. Just believe in yourself.
Just believe. You can do it. You can do it. You got this.
Trust the universe. Just believe. You can do it.
Thank you.
Is that getting in, Yvonne?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we need to end in about 10 minutes, so we have plenty of time. Who's got something they want to birth, and what is it you'd like us to bless you with?
You want a blessing, dear?
Let me say that B would like a blessing on her new business, her new businesses. And she's got in here, you can do it, just believe you can. You got this. Trust yourself. So you can do this, just believe you can. I'm going to assume that's what you want to hear. B, you can do it, just believe you can. So I'm going to ask you to be in a posture of receiving, whatever that may look like for you. And we're going to bless you. Just take a deep breath and receive. Do you?
I think I'm sorry to interrupt, Sally. It looks like I
see.
think she's looking for, so B, how could we support you, and what words do you want to hear for yourself?
For your businesses. I can connect. Okay, here is B's, what B wants to hear. I can connect to the right people and resources to make it happen. So take a deep breath, B. We're going to bless you. You want to breathe it in. You want to feel it in your body. You can connect to the right people and resources to make this happen.
B, you can connect to the right people and resources to make your new businesses happen.
B, you can connect to the right people and resources to make it happen. And so it is.
B, you are connected to the right people, and it is happening.
Let's breathe that in. All right. Who has something else? Thank you, B. Something else that they want to give birth to, and what would you like to hear? And if you don't have a word or words, we can just bless you. Send you in with some delighted attention and love. So Kevin or Charlie or Sally, do you have anything you'd like to share? Or anything you'd like to hear? How can we, from our maternal, archetypal, benevolent sovereign, bless you today? What's that, Kevin?
Well, I was just chuckling over the thought and nothing specific. If I'm birthing anything, I want to be birthing a higher level of spirituality. And I know I'm on the path. You know, I guess I'm like B. I just want to connect with the right people, and I want the right people to come into my path one way or the other.
So can we take that and bless you?
Well, sure.
So I welcome a higher level of spirituality. I know I'm on the path. I want to connect to the right people. So I'm just going to ask you if you will mute your line and let us bless you. We can send it in through our eyes, through our words. Kevin, I hear that you're welcoming and birthing a higher level of spirituality. And I know you are on the journey, and I know you are connecting to the right people. Breathe it in. Anybody else who wants to bless Kevin?
Yes, Kevin, you are connected to all that is. The universal power and presence is within you, and you are never alone, and you have all the gifts, and you generously use them, and they grow.
Breathe it in. From B, you are on your higher path. You are connected to the right people, and more will come in to your life. Let's breathe that in.
Kevin, your higher spirituality is unfolding as it should. You are birthing and blossoming the most beautiful of flowers in the universe. Revel in this and endeavor. The universe has you in its loving arms, will protect you and guide you through all of it.
Breathe that in. Receive it through the eyes, through the energy.
Kevin, you are on a deeper spiritual path and you are connecting to all the right people. And it is happening. And so it is.
We bless you, Kevin.
Blessings.
We bless you. Sally or Charlie, or anybody in Charlie's space, how can we bless you?
Well, I have been blessed this week, and I'm grateful for the blessing. And the blessing has showed on my PET scan that the cancer that I've had for 15 years is no longer there. And I'm most grateful for that. Thank you, God.
So we'll be grateful together. Blessings on your continued.
On you, Charlie.
Blessings on you, Charlie. Congratulations. An answer to a lot of prayer.
Thank you.
Many, many blessings and much gratitude.
B says incredible news, blessings.
Indeed.
Celebrating with you.
The most
Thank you.
marvelous news, Charlie. Many blessings on you. Well deserved. And namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends, indeed. And thank you for all that have encouraged me and all that have prayed with me and for me. And I know that the power that is unlimited. And I am graciously accept that power and presence expressing itself through each and every one of us. And so it is.
Thank you, Charlie. Sally, do you have a blessing you'd like to receive from us?
Well, there's two things that come to mind. One is I'd like to have the opportunity to develop a closer relationship with my granddaughter, Livy, and that my artwork can attain a higher spiritual level than I'm at right now for the benefit and enjoyment of all who see it.
Okay, so we're going to give whatever iteration we have of that when we say we bless you as grandmother for a closer relationship with your granddaughter and for your art to be of the highest and greatest service to all. Breathe that in. Please offer a blessing to Sally.
I bless you, Sally, and I bless your granddaughter as well, that she may get to nurture from her grandmother.
Just breathe that in. Anybody else to bless Sally?
Yes, Sally, I know at a soul level, your granddaughter absolutely knows and connects with you in unconditional love. And that your inspiration that comes out into your artwork will inspire whoever is there to get it. So it is.
Breathe it in. And B says blessings on your creative endeavors and your relationship with your granddaughter. We bless you.
Sally, I honor the deeper connection that you have with your granddaughter and the wonderfulness of that. And I also honor and bless that your artwork is bringing so much more to people than you feel, and that it is honoring. of those.
Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for that blessing and encouragement. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yes. So in the mother archetype here on Mother's Day, we know that we all have the ability to birth, to create, to bring into being, to then nurture, protect, bless unconditionally with our support, and then to let it go. So we bless ourselves, we bless each other, and we bring that energy out to the world. Any last words before we complete? See what I can do?
Really cool.
I know.
Magic.
I don't know how I can do it. One day I was on a Zoom call and I went like this. So I think we all have the capacity to do that, but you know, sometimes when I go like this on your heart, do it on your heart, right to your heart, and be sure the camera can see it.
I'm not sure I have one.
You do. I'm pretty sure about that. So you wanted to see how you can see this heart and it's right by your heart and you have to hold it still, all your fingers together. All I can say is keep practicing. That's all I got for you. I don't know how it happened. Sometimes when I get excited, fireworks go off. The other day there were some balloons. I sometimes see, I can do a thumb. See the thumb? Try your thumb.
You must have a setting on or something.
I don't know. I didn't
It's
do it.
got, she has Zoom magic going on.
Oh, well, thank you all for being here. What a beautiful blessing for me today.
Your blessing came to us. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for receiving it. So you
Well,
can all
everybody have a great week.
Thank
yeah.
you. Love to Bobby, please.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good week.